everybody, I hope you're all well. It's Teresa here from Rochester in Kent in the UK. Our weather's really turned, it's very wintry, but compared to how some of you are at the moment, this is a walk in the park. I do hope you're all safe wherever you are. Well, you must be wondering what all this is here. This I received through the post from Jacqui Galloway, one of our allsewnupper friends, and I had no idea what it was. I wasn't expecting it or anything, and I opened it to find some beautiful bits and pieces here and some lovely fabric, and then suddenly all these barcodes. Now I have a feeling I've left some downstairs because there seemed to be a whole lot more than these. What are all these barcodes? And then I read Jacqui's letter, which is here somewhere, and I won't read it out. And she's saying that these are from her husband Justin, who is setting Jacqui and me a challenge. Barcodes. That's it. Nothing else. No advice. No suggestions. Just this. So I looked and I've looked and I've looked until my head's ached. So I accept your challenge, Justin, but I must say I've never had a challenge quite like this before. So well done on coming up with something really, really difficult at one of the most stressful times in my life. But having said that, and I'm referencing the wedding, having said that, it is really taking my mind off altering those bridesmaids' dresses that are hanging on the wall behind me as I speak. I'd much rather do this. So, those are from Justin, and Jacqui has sent these beautiful pieces of fabric. And I'm sure they bear no relationship to the barcodes at all, but look at this. Isn't that just stunning? It looks like batik. That is just absolutely fabulous, Jacqui. Thank you very much. You always send such unusual fabric. I've no idea where you get your fabric from, but it's always very, very lovely. And that is beautiful too. I just think some of these things are, look, there's another. Some of these things are just too nice to think of cutting up. That looks like batik as well, some sort of printing, or it could even look like bleach printing. But that is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And these, and all mostly, I was just going to say mostly blue, and then I've come up against these beautiful reds. Now that is lovely. They seem to have like an African feel to them. And I've also got these as well that Jacqui sent, and there's a collection in there of belt buckles and a rather beautiful stone, like acrylic buttons, or I don't think they are buttons, are they, those acrylic? I'm not sure what to call them, but they are very, very lovely. I just love all this. It's just so inspirational. And the nicest part of all is a card for Glenn and for myself for our wedding day. It's a wedding card, and Jacqui, this is just absolutely perfect. And I love your use of the buckle there, how you've covered the buckle and secured it with this couching, and it looks as if you have some log cabin or a type of log cabin variation at the bottom. And your lettering is just lovely, and the wedding bells as well. And Glenn says thank you very, very much. He loves things like this as well, Jacqui, so thank you. Congratulations, love, Jacqui, it says. This project then, getting back to the nitty gritty, the unromantic part, is on barcodes. And the one that I'm actually holding here was just one. I sat and tried to get a bit of inspiration and started filling this in and got absolutely nowhere. Okay, anyway, with that in mind, grab your coffee, you know the rest, feet up, and just enjoy this. I also had another thought that I'd go back to nature and have a look at trees. And as you can see here, these would make really good barcodes as well. Now you have seen these before, can't remember which project it was, but this is all needle weaving here. All the stitches here, all the whites, needle weaving with a green background. And this one is on Hessia, and once again it's needle weaving, a little bit of weaving between. I don't think there's anything else. Oh, some cross stitch there. And I just think that would make a wonderful barcodes, different colours. But then I thought, well, that isn't much of a challenge because I've done these before, and is that just an easy way out? So I've shelved that, but I just thought I would show you that there are more than one way, that there's more than one way to do a project and find your inspiration. Now, having said that, I have now found my inspiration, and I think you might be quite surprised. Now, I think I can honestly say this is possibly one of the most challenging projects I've ever done. I've spent hours just looking at the barcodes. I've chosen one, and I've chosen this one, and I'll explain why in a minute. I'm only using one. I'm not using all of those pieces that Justin sent via his lovely wife Jacqui. Now, I've started off, now you have to bear with me for a minute while I explain this and try to get it straight in my head. I started off with this view of the canal, and these houses are absolutely beautiful, and they're different colours, and the reflections are marvellous. They're just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Now, this is all being done on my printer, on the computer. I've gone for black and white, and the black and white version of this, because it reminds me of barcodes. Now, I've always loved these. On any visit to Amsterdam, I have loved these because of how long and linear they are. And they've always reminded me of something. I don't know if it was trees. And anyway, very lovely. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and use these. Okay, now, yeah, bear with me, it will make sense, I hope, in a minute. So, this is how far I did this black and white to echo the black and white and the long linear. We have, along here, lovely contrast, variations of our contrast, our words. For a start, we have two opposite colours. We have black and white, or neutrals. So we've got black and white, and then we have a contrast again, thick against thin. Okay, so our lines are thick against thin. So these are the first two things that clicked in my head: black and white, thick and thin. I can use these. Now, I've only decided to use the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 areas, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there we are, we're up to there. It might actually be there, I'm not sure, but I'm only using this. Can't use the whole barcode, it's far too long, so I'm just using this bit here from that one there. I'm ignoring the white bit there, from that down to here. So I've looked at it and I thought another contrast, the width, close together and wide. So we have close together and wide. So still thinking of my houses here, so I've elongated them from that to this. Now they're beginning to look even more linear, like our barcodes here, beginning to look even more linear, but they're now looking all the same width. There aren't any contrasting ones, there aren't any wide ones, So back to the drawing board. Then this is where it gets just a little bit complicated. I decided to use this one for the wide ones and this one for the narrow ones. So what I've had to do is go back here. I've cut them out. I cut them out, the shapes, all these shapes were cut out, and then I started again. So the first area was thin, meaning I need a thin house. First one. Second one is thin, need another thin house. Third one is thick, wide, need a wide house. So I brought in a house from there. So if you're going to read this as a barcode, you have thin white, thick. Not on this one, but hang on, I had to do a lot of cutting and changing, and this is the result. And I'll read back this barcode. I hope you're still with me. Now that goes there. Now can you see the difference? We now have thin against thick, thin, thick, 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 thin, thin. So I'm going to take you back to here. Let's have a look. I have that up. So we have thin, thin, thick. First three are thin, thin, thick, and they're white. So this is the most I can get towards white, grey. So thin, thin, thick, or white. Grey, actually, because I can't get white. So we have thin, thin, thick, thin, thin, thick, another thin, thin. Then we have this lovely first black line here. You see that nice black line there? Thick, thick. Then between them we have now have I lost it, we have thin, thin, thick, thin, thin, thick, thin, thick, thick white, thick black, and then thin, thin. So all I've done is translated the barcode into thick and thin, using the inspiration of the houses in Amsterdam, but making some thick and some thin to suit my needs. I mean, they're all thin, but I've had to make some thick. So that is where I am, and that is the barcode for, what did I say, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So that's the barcode for the first 9. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 to about there. Okay, so I don't need any more barcodes, I just need the first 9 here. Translate those into shapes, and these are the shapes I've chosen. Now the exciting thing is, while I was concentrating on this is the reflection. So once again I had to chop up these and match the reflection to their respective buildings. Okay, so I had to move those about too, and I think those have come out so well. If I make this bigger, let's have a look. If I can push that down a little bit, right, there we go. Now look at that reflection. You see what we have here? We have barcodes here, look at that. Isn't that fabulous? And here we get the width as well there, and here. I just think that is absolutely stunning. I really do. But Justin, Mr. Galloway, you've given me a headache on more than one occasion recently, because I've been dreaming this and sleeping this. It's so exciting because I have no I have no idea what's going to happen, where I'm going to take it. At the moment, I've spent quite a lot of time up here going through fabric. Now I have a couple of options to keep it black and white, to remove, let me move this down, right. I like this, want to keep this in some form, the reflection, camera's not straight, is it? So to keep this in some form, because they're just screaming barcodes. But I love the houses as well. But I've removed the roofs there. Now, I don't know whether to go for a barcode look, completely barcode. So you're going to look at that and say, oh, barcodes. Or if to just use that as the inspiration, and the black and white and our design elements, our arty elements, keep those and completely change the colour. I'm not sure whether to just jump in with 2 feet and say, right, I've used Mr. Galloway's inspiration, there's the inspiration, what can you do with it? So this is what I've done. Now I have the idea for my artwork. Now it's up to me what I do. I still like the principles of complementary colours, but I do like this. I like this, and I like that in black and white. Now I am so tempted to actually do these in colour. Maybe do them on a black, this would be white because the grey represents white. White background. What was it? I have to keep looking because I can't remember. It's all white. So those 4 are white bars divided by black lines. So I could barcodes, reflective. Oh my goodness, this just explodes, doesn't it? How could I do this in fabric and thread? Or do I really want them looking like barcodes? Oh my goodness, my goodness. Hopefully by the time I get back to you, I'll have something constructive to show you. My headache, oh god. But Justin, thank you very much for this. As you probably know from Jacqui, I'm getting married next week. My life's in chaos at the moment, absolute chaos. And you've done nothing to help. Okay, I just want you to be aware that you have just added to my confusion. So thank you very much for that, but I will not be defeated. You are not going to defeat me with this. Okay, and that is all tongue in cheek. Right, okay, I've made a start, and the background is just some scraps of fabric that I had. There's 2 pieces of fabric, back and front, and it's sandwiched with some iron-on interfacing, and then I've machine sewn all the way around the edge. Now I also got carried away and I cut out the shapes that I wanted, and really very easy. Look, you can see the shapes here. I actually cut out all these shapes as they are from a spare one of these. So let's try this again. Right, so we have white, wide white, narrow white, black, wide black, wide white, wide black, and 2 narrow whites, one there and one there. So eventually it started making sense to me. I've covered it in net just to sort of marry them all together, and there now my buildings. Now moving down this way, oh, and I have actually separated them with a white line at the top, the buildings here. Okay, just put those that down there, marry them up there, and then the reflections at the bottom here, nice and shiny, basically sparkly bits and pieces that you've seen before. That one here, you can see that's a nice silver one. There's a velvet one there with bits of stars on it. So I've tried to stick to some silvery shiny ones here, and then it wasn't giving me the effect I wanted, the shiny watery effects here of a river. Although this isn't a very good photocopy, you can't see it's shiny and it's watery. So I thought I'll go back to our old friend here, and I'll just use that over it, and that has produced this rather wet looking, if you can see this, can you see that rather wet looking watery effect, and I just think that is nice. I like that. To my mind, that actually does, or it could look like a reflection. If I pop that on there, sometimes by getting rid of the edges you can see it a bit better. And so this is now the basis of the design, and it's ready for sewing, I think, although I'm not sure whether to put the roofs on first, and I'm not sure whether to use one style of roof, like maybe this one, for all of them. I'm very tempted to put the same roofs on them all, or not put the roofs on and get a real barcode effect, or each one have its own roof, or I don't know, or do something like that. Start machine sewing. I'm going to cover the white part in a white net and the dark part in a dark net, in a black net, and I think this might just add to the contrast, make the light or the white a little bit lighter and the dark just a little bit darker. Then I should start sewing these pieces down. After machine sewing, I've spent some time sorting out fabric for using for the roofs. I like this because the shapes, the triangular shapes suggesting roofs, and the little pointy bits as well suggest gables. So I think if I cover it like I am now with net, it might just blend it in a bit more. So what I'm going to do is pin it down, and then I will machine sew that in place as well, and I'll get back and show you as soon as it's sewn down. I've also found fabric to make a bottom band as well, and they've both been machine sewn down now. So the roofs here and the reflections down below. Now some of this is a bit mismatched like there, but that doesn't matter because that will be sewn over. Once again, I'm just going to show you this, how that flips up for me to put some pieces of fabric in here, some to cause a little bit more of a shimmer, because this is the reflection. So I'm carrying on now, and then I'll get back very, very soon and hopefully have something to show you. all the machine sewing has now been done. It needs a bit of trimming around here, around these dark areas. I've put in a border here and here and here and the last one there. I'm not sure whether I'm actually going to include these in the finished part. They're there, but I don't know at this stage if I actually need those bits. I've got the frame because I didn't want it any bigger than A4, and this is what I'm looking at the moment, something possibly like that. My camera is at an angle, that's why things sometimes don't look straight. Right, there we are. Now, so I might lose the bottom border or the bottom part, the reflection, and maybe just a tiny bit of this. We'll see anyway. Quite pleased with how this is turning out. I still think it's got the barcode element going on, if I can find it. No, I can't. This, I've actually hidden the barcode, I think, but then it was only inspiration. I'm not even sure at this point whether I need to divide these up. Yeah, perhaps I need to divide these again this way to get the actual widths, the matching widths. Well, see, it's far easier doing this by looking at the camera, because sometimes you notice things that you don't notice when it's right in your face. The windows are all in, and that took almost 3 hours to do. And the easiest way to put all these in were to do them in strips. So I started sewing down all the way down these, down there, and then I come back up there, and then go down there and up there, all the way across, and then just go back and catch the bottoms. So some of them have been slip stitched around the edge, and others have been stab stitched. I'm not sure which is the best. This looks a bit scruffy close up because it's slip stitched, but this is a very thick area. Slip stitch, stab stitch. So just the 2 stitches there, and I think that was really to relieve my boredom of all the repetition that was involved in this. My next task, and I might try this on the sewing machine first to see how it works out, and if I can actually sew through the leather. We'll see about doing the crosses for the window panes on the sewing machine. If not, I'll have to sit and do them by hand. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. Next time you see this, hopefully there'll be quite a bit of either machine sewing or hand sewing, and then I might take time to look at this as well. Not quite happy at this, but it does look nice. All the green bits look really nice. It's been hanging on the wall, and yeah, it's very, very effective. Well, since the last time you saw this, there's been a few changes, and I'm really sorry this has taken so long, but Glenn and I got married, and it was a week ago now, and I've been trying to finish this, but there's been so much to do. We had a lovely wedding in Rochester, and it was very, very small. I think about 20 guests, and we had an afternoon tea in a very nice cocktail bar, and that went on for 4 or 5 hours. Then we went to my daughter-in-law's, and it was absolutely fabulous. I couldn't have asked for a better day. It was just how I wanted it. So now my mum's wedding ring has gone from this finger to that finger, and that is where it's staying now. My mum gave that to me shortly before she died, and she said she wanted me to wear it, and so I am. It was quite a moment as well, and we had her and Dad's favourite song playing as well, and that was Till the End of Time by Perry Como. The whole thing was just lovely. just very, very beautiful. So those of you who did know and have sent congratulations and best wishes, thank you very much. So there we are. So unfortunately, looking at this, we'll see I've still got my wedding nail varnish on, pink instead of the black. But anyway, those know I've said that about the best wishes, haven't I? So this has taken far longer than I wanted it to. So I'm going to run down and tell you what I've done. And I did get carried away on here, and I was so involved a couple of nights ago we were watching a Nicolas Cage film. It was so good. I got carried away and actually forgot to film this, but I'm back now, and hopefully within the next week or two things will get back to normal or even better. Maybe we can come up with some ideas of how to take the channel forward, because at the moment my head's a shed, and it would be nice to have a bit of input. Well, I'm going to start up here. Now I've decorated what I would imagine in my head to be the top of the houses. Okay, so all the roofs are different at different heights, but I've stuck to this one here. I like that one, and of course I've run that all the way along the top here. So on top of that I put a little bit of decoration. The Europeans love decorating their buildings, and here we go. We have I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. Now hopefully you can see it better. So here we have a single chain with a long stem here at the bottom. So it's a chain with a stem and straight stitch either side, and in the center of the chain there is just a long stitch, and then in between each set of leaves there is one single French knot, and that's all the way along there. Here this is whipped running stitch, so it's just one running stitch, 2 rows of running stitch, and then going back and just weaving under and over, under and over, under and over. And then there's running stitch again just to finish off. Now the running stitch is actually going round the shape, the triangular shapes on the fabric. Okay, so if you look carefully you can see the triangles here, and I've just gone round them with running stitch. Now on the band here I'm representing another decorative pattern on the houses. We have herringbone stitch all the way along there in that light brown, and 2 rows of running stitch. The running stitch went on first, okay, and then the herringbone. The windows that you see here with the fabric across, with the thread across, they've all been couched down. So all that is, if you take this one here, is just one thread from one end to the other, one side to the other like that, and then crossing it again that way, and then just securing it with a single straight stitch. You can, if you want, put a little stitch there or another decorative stitch, but I only wanted the small straight stitches there. Oh, I forgot what I was saying then. So all those windows like here, 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 that took some doing, all those little windows, and here and here, they've all been treated in the same way. It's just that some have more panes of glass, which is these, and others only have 4. Now I've not stuck true to the picture, because if I had I'd still be here doing these now, because you can see here we have 6 here, only 2 there, 6, and we have 12 there, and here there are 18 I think. 1, 2, 3, 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 6, 24 there. That's incredible, isn't it? 24. No, I couldn't do 24 here. Now I've deliberately left some of these windows just plain fabric only, here and here and here, because I think to do them all it would just be so busy. I'm looking at that one there, and if I did that here or there, or even those, it would just be a mass of little boxes and it would be too busy. There is a row of feather stitch. How am I doing on there? Right, a row of feather stitch here on the white bars, if you like, between there and there and here and here. So feather stitch along there, and as you all know I love feather stitch. So this bit is a little bit of a problem. I'm not sure what to do there, and I'm really sorry. I think that I didn't run the reflection maybe right down. I'm not too sure about that, so I need to come up with something to do along there. But the reflection now I think I'm losing the barcode look here. I think you can still see the black barcode there and the black barcode there against the white ones here, but the reflections are grey, the white and the dark of the water's making them grey. So what have I done for the reflections? The reflection I've just added, let me have a look, I've got this written down. I've added some lace here, strips of lace applique here and here, little bits down here as well, there and up there. Now this lace was particularly curvy. It's just traditional lace, it's any old lace, but it has a wave to it. Okay, so I cut along the waves and I put them down there. I've carried the feather stitch from, let me move over, I've carried the feather stitch from the white lines between the windows down here, alright, because the white lines of the fabric, if you remember, carry on down into the reflection, and I've carried that feather stitch, only this time I've done it upside down to match this. So this feather stitch is going up, and because that's a reflection, it's going down. I hope that made sense. And I was lucky enough to find silver thread in the works amongst I think it was about six skeins for £1, and there was a skein of silver and gold. I couldn't believe it. So I've used that there, that is silver. More applique here, little shiny bits there, and more there. Now I've also used the silver thread as well, just to make some nice shapes going down there, to make it look like the water is slightly moving. Now I hope I haven't covered the lovely green. I know close up, when it's been on the wall, I can still see the green there. It's not coming out too well on the screen. Let me move that about. Oh, it is actually, yeah, you can see the different colours here. That has pink applique net over it, and that also has a little bit of the sheen. And I think it looks better at a distance, like 2 miles distance. But you know, if you don't like it, just say, oh well, she's got a wedding head on still, that planning, and it's all over. But this nice little piece of red there. So I'm not sure that this is finished yet, the reflection, but I'm leaving it for the moment, and the next thing I'm going to concentrate is the middle. Now I need something that is going to pull these together, and so you could actually see that is the reflection. Okay, so you can look at that in one go and say, oh, I can see, obviously. You can see the barcodes. I don't think so anymore. Sorry Justin, I completely lost the barcodes now. but the inspiration is still there. So I need something now along there to pull it together. Then I need reference numbers, I think. I need to use those numbers as a nod to the barcodes. I think I made a huge mistake. I can't, oh, there it is. I cut that off from there and I tried it up there and it looked awful. All I did was place it there like I'm doing at the moment, and I just think it looked dreadful. So just threw that away. I've zigzagged all the way around here, all the way around in fact, to stop it fraying. Or now this bit here, I've put some sequins down and then covered it up with the same blue that I've used here, the same blue organza, and I quite like it. I'm not sure it says anything. I thought it might indicate lapping waves or movement there, but hey ho, it's there now, so that's not going anywhere. And I actually machine sewn that. I've machine sewn that down as well. Didn't do it by hand, but I might add just a few stitches of hand, maybe running stitch along there. Now before I do that, think about, I'm going to start on the numbers here. Now I'm going to take the numbers from the barcode. I don't know whether I should do them in sequence, but the numbers I like here, 21852. I think if I do them here, there's a lot of O's going on here, nothing very interesting. So I thought I might take the numbers here, and I have one, no, I don't want that one, do I? I want 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers. Now I've worked it out, and I'm going to do it on Ada. I've worked it out that the numbers need to be no bigger than 5 boxes, and I believe this is 14 count, this Ada. So no longer than 5, no wider than 3. All I'm going to do is just do it freehand. I've marked out 5 boxes here with a little bit of orange crayon. What shall I start with? I'll start with a notch, I think. So a little bit of back stitch going on top. That's all I'm doing, the back stitch, right, no longer than 5. So the first stitch at the top is one, same size. Okay, see how easy that is to do. Just back stitch. You could do cross stitch if you wanted to, or whipped running stitch, interlace running stitch. Oh, hallelujah, it meets there. There we go. And that is the knot. First number, knot. So I'm going to carry on until I've done them all, and then I'll get back and show them. Well, I might actually just put them down, a few stitches just to hold them down. I'm going to call it finished now. I hope you like it. I think there's a whole lot more things that I could do to it, but just at this moment in time I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it, but I think I might revisit it at some stage. I'm going to leave it like this, unmade up if you like. I think it might make a nice journal cover, a book cover, something like that, because it's got a natural crease. I'm very tempted actually to make it into a travel journey. I'm going to Germany at the end of this month, November, and I'd like a nice travel journey just to document my travels there and put a few pictures in, and this might be the job. But anyway, what did I do? I've put the numbers in, and I'll show you where the numbers came from. Where are they? 4021. I've used that one, and they're up here, 4021. Didn't bother with this end one because the chances are a lot of that will be taken up into a seam allowance at some time. I've also put a few lines of running stitch along here. You might just be able to see it, and it is actually the same colour I've used up here. And then apart from that, I think that's all. I started to put a few running stitches around the doorways with that. I started with that one, and then I realised it didn't add anything, so I stopped. So there we are. So our inspiration was from this, and if you remember, I've used the first, what was it, off the top of my head, 7, was it 9, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, the first 9 bars here. So those bars there have been interpreted or translated into these. So this is my code bar, and then from then I wondered, what can I do with these? What do they remind me of? Trees. And then I thought a bit more, and it was the houses in Amsterdam. So there we are. So inspiration 1 led to 2, led to the finished piece. Yeah. So I really hope you like it. If you don't, can you like it? And if you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing. And Justin, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the inspiration. It was a real challenge, I have to say, and I did enjoy it. And I think if wedding plans hadn't got in the way, there would have been a lot more detail on this. But I'm now wanting to finish this and to start something else. Okay, but thank you very much for going to the trouble of sending all those barcodes. I'm looking at another one here, a great big one there. It seems an awful shame to get rid of them, so I might hang on to those and think about doing something else. So there we are. So I hope you're all well, and I hope you're all safe wherever you are. And hopefully now things are gradually getting back to normal, I can start thinking about the channel, this channel and Facebook group as well. I know I've neglected it, and I'm really, really sorry. Now Christmas is coming, so a bit more neglect about to go on, possibly. Anyway, take care everyone, and I'll speak to you all in some way or another very, very soon.